very happy to be here. I flew in this morning from Belgium, from Brussels, I should say, because in the US they usually don't know where to locate Belgium. Brussels a bit better. Founder and CEO at Stampix. Stampix is a very specific reward for loyalty programs. We're all about personal photos, and we print them and deliver them to members. We're global, working with airlines, hotel chains, several brands across the globe, trying to build a more emotional loyalty. So that's more of a topic for the tracks that are due tomorrow, but today we're going to talk about technology, and I'd like to introduce the panel. Well, actually, I'm going to transfer to them to introduce themselves, so over to you.
Hi, Valeria Iglesias.
Oh, it's not working, I think.
Hello? Hello? Yeah. Okay, Valeria Iglesias, more or less pronounced by AI. But I work with LiveMouse, many years now in this industry. Thank you for the invitation.
Hi, Brigitte Blais-Chamay, formerly with American Airlines, and currently advising a terrific startup with true grit, two terrific founders, Points Yeah.
Hi everyone, Tina Moore. I lead the commercial business at Mesa, specifically our rewards and card product. We are a new company, and this is actually the first time we've spoken publicly about it, launching the first homeowner membership platform. So it is a loyalty program built specifically for homeowners with the mission of rewarding homeowners on every dollar that they spend on their home, from new mortgages to monthly mortgage payments, taxes, maintenance, you name it.
Hello everyone, this is Troy Liu. I'm a co-founder of the Points Yeah, a new platform that made a search for all our travel planning, including miles earning, and also the burning on the hotels and on the flights. And also we're the fastest search engine right now. Yeah. Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much. So as you can tell, we've got a pretty broad panel, different perspectives. And I'd like to kick the session off with you, Valeria, about just generally technology, how it has been shaping loyalty programs so far. Obviously, we're several decades past the stamps and the physical cards, but what's your perspective on the way technology has been transforming loyalty programs?
Thank you. Just realized some people may not know LiveMouse, so it's a loyalty program for Avianca and the most rewarded loyalty program in Latin America. Okay, so technology. I think blessing and a curse in a way, because we suffer a lot with, especially now, and I'm sure everybody goes through the same thing, deciding which technology is the one that's worth implementing and putting the resources. Once it's implemented, having to make it work properly. So I think we're always in that challenge of deciding where to put our resources and what is going to be the next best thing for our customers. And that is scaringly more and more happening faster, right? That we've been through many migrations, through many implementations, and it seems like it's your everyday thing now, to go through this small crisis trying to bring the next best product for your customers. So yeah, it has changed a lot, especially on speed, I believe, and the amount of options that are in front of you and how much effort you have to put into deciding where to focus your time, the time of your organization, and the money that you have for that, because there's so many options right now. We have vendors, we have ideas that come from the trend that we're seeing in the market, and that's the part of art that comes into our jobs, I believe, to being able to sense what is that technology that is worth implementing and that is worth putting your energy into.
Maybe a follow-up question. Do you have like a structure in place to select those technologies, or is it more pick and choose, playing catch up with all the new innovations?
Well, we do have a process of, we usually have to do the evaluation of what we believe, but also it's like that typical story of the Xerox, that if you think that's not going to work, and then it worked. And sometimes you think it is going to work, and it doesn't, right? So there's always this risk, but we do have the process that we have to evaluate NPV, how the budget is going to be, and then we put all the new technologies or whatever. Hello? We put that into a plan, and there's, I don't know that, I'm sure it happens in every company, but it's like our pipeline, it goes like for 3 years. And there's monthly meetings juggling with, I'm moving this there, and I'm putting this in front, and I'm putting that behind. We'd never have enough resources. We never have enough people, enough money. It's fun.
Yeah, sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Bridget, what about you? Has it been fun for you as well?
It's been a lot of emotions, really, but really the most is just seeing how we're able to evolve the business, right? Tech enables the business, and what problems is the business solving? And so to me, it's always like, I'm not fussed about the solution of the technology as much as I am about zeroing in on, are we solving the problem here for the customer? And then I think about how we're going to enable it. So I just think about all the things for the industry itself, and the pace by which has differed across the board. But there's a lot we've been able to do in caring for the customer, serving the customer, that then engenders them to have preference to you. And we've done that direct to the customer. We've done it through employees to the customer. And I just really am respectful and thankful for the role tech plays to make that happen. And it's very difficult. It's very complicated. We just heard Luke talk about it. It was really hard standing up that platform. And I don't have to be told any more about it. I believe him at hello on that. So it's really hard, and that together, the business and IT, I believe, in this industry, the airline industry, has done a lot to improve, enhance the experience of our customers. No argument, we had kind of a not so great starting point, but it's better, and I would certainly suggest that some brands are even doing it better and faster. And I just really am excited about the future, about it. It's going to even be better. And honestly, it's not like we're going to go and reinvent the wheel about what it is. It's about demonstrating to your customer that you care enough about them and respect enough about them that you're going to serve them up something that matters to them. So it's give them what they want versus what you have, I think becomes ever more in vogue. And you just heard Luke talk about it for 30 minutes, about how United's thinking about it in this one very particular instance. And I just think we're going to see more of that going forward.
Great. Yeah, we heard some great examples from United. Is there one that comes to mind from your experience? A project that was driven by tech?
We had done so much at American below the radar on using, airlines are rich in data, moments in time, not much cash, but always rich in data at the customer level. And for a long time, American's been doing a lot of below the radar one-on-one type marketing and stood up a lot of digital assets at the customer level to do that. And, the results speak for themselves. They really are, when you're not necessarily one-to-one, but as close as you get it, marketing to them something that gets them to come on over to you versus what you believe is preference for your competitor, has been enabled through the personalization and the one-on-one and the incentives that are as relevant to them based on what you know about their demand curve as possible. So,
great.
Tactical example.
Yeah, and you mentioned one particular buzzword there, personalization. And now that I know there is a contest for buzzwords, definitely want to dive into that. So moving to Tina here, how are you leveraging the modern technologies to increase personalization, segmentation?
Yeah, so what's kind of interesting about our business, we have access to a lot of data that a traditional program wouldn't have about homeowners. So we, know first if somebody's going to move or if somebody's going to get a new home. So if you think about that as it relates to our brand partners in like home improvement, home decor, we can put their brand in front of the customer at a time where they're actively, about to, buy a ton of furniture, get some appliances, like whatever it is. So we can use that data to to have triggers about for these kind of big life moments. Or if you think about, airline and hotel partners, perhaps they're about to move to a new city where they used to be close to a United hub, but now they're going to be close to an American hub. So kind of using all these triggers and this data we have to put brands in front of the customer at the right time. We're then kind of like, our vow is to make, homeownership more affordable and rewarding, and to give value back. And value could be in the form of rewards, or it could be actually just saving people time. So, taking, some of these choices out of their hands, predicting what it is they're going to need. We have a personal kind of virtual assistant technology where, for example, we'll anticipate, if they're going to be moving, they're probably going to have to forward their mail. We have tasks. We have, a mixture of AI and experts that will actually execute those things. Or we know if somebody's put in a permit for a pool. So, what they're going to need for that, and what vendors or what, products or services or what brands. So we are now in the early stages of all of this, but aggregating all that data and trying to, bring the customer and the brands together in a way that's very personalized and relevant, to drive, to save our customers time and money, and to kind of put these really high value customers in the path of these different brand partners when, when they're actively seeking those types of goods and services.
Nice. And maybe a quick follow-up question. Is that personalization then on a one-to-one level, or is it more in cohorts, segments, people who are pooled together?
It's based on a lot of different data that we'll be able to have on them. So like, they're, if somebody's putting in a pool permit, it might be, but they might also be moving, or they might be refinancing. So it really is a kind of aggregated segments based on all the different attributes we have on the customer.
Thank you. Valeria, maybe circling back to you at Life Miles. Is it also one of those challenges that you're catching up with, or is it already at the level that you see it?
No, it will never be. We have so much data, and we have so many things that we can do with that data and with the tools that we have. And I was just thinking right now, one of the biggest things that we have is that conflict that we're always focusing on cost, at least on the airline side and on FTEs. And then you have this amazing technology sometimes that they can do like a bunch of things, but you need people to program. You still need them, right? If you want to do life cycle, for example, you need to have somebody thinking about those life cycles, putting them in. It's not a lot, but when you have so many products, because we have B2B, we have B2C, we have the cards, we have purchase miles, you have redemptions, like, I don't know, we have like 20 products. And then you need people, this is not working very well. Well, you need people to make that work still. We're not there, at least with AI, just thinking about all these scenarios. So yeah, we do a lot. I think we are more and more boosted by technology, Salesforce, for example. I don't want to mention special, but there's AI just in there that we can use, and we do use, but still we are short of hands, I think, with all the possibilities that are out there, everything that we could do to go to the very, specific situation, product and everything. There's still a step that's needed, and I'm sure it's going to come soon. But we still need a lot of brain power and people just thinking about those scenarios and making them work. But yeah, I think that's one big change from a couple of years ago, that we were more into the big segmentations and doing them every time you had to go and pick the database. And now it's just happening. You build a
workflow.
You were the workflow and it works, but still, we could do 1,000 workflows, and we can do, 20, 30 a month. So yeah.
You still need brain power to look at the results and see if it's actually working. And
Exactly. Yeah. So there's a lot. I think the problem is that now there's so many possibilities that your brain starts going like this, and then you're okay. How do we implement it? And then you have technology. And sorry, it's just a short one. Then the other thing is, when you have such robust technology, it's also a lot of things that have to get moved. Anything that touches our core system, it's very, very time consuming, very complicated, a lot of risks. So it's, think decoupled systems would be more flexible.
Next, I want to talk about member lifetime and engagement. So, Troy, maybe you can tell us which challenges you see in that field.
Well, I think right now, so what we're trying to do is we do see there's consumer has a lot of options in terms of earning the miles and the points, but they also have a lot of options. Well, they also have actually challenging what how do I say redeem them in the more effective way or faster way. So what we're building is we build a platform, a meta search, so that we can display the result in a very fast way, helping consumer to find the award seats, award availability in under 20 seconds, together with over 20 filters. So the result is personalized to each consumer. So the consumer can pick up their ideal flights or hotel rooms with a short amount of time. And then by making this process so quickly and easier, so that in the long run, the consumer will have more confidence in terms of on the loyalty points, especially on the genuine consumers. Like Luke mentioned, that there's a lot of more genuine members than before. So by having by building this process, so they will have a easier way to redeem their points, and then in the long run, they will have a more confidence towards each of the program, and then they will come back to earn more. So that's what we're trying to do as a platform in the between. And also, on the other hand, just also Luke mentioned, like a lot of our work right now nowadays is long haul getting a little bit more expensive, but a short haul redemption, or as I call it regional redemption, more dynamic and significantly cheaper. By making people finding those awards also on the easier, so it will increase their redemption frequencies. Like for example, myself personally, right, I redeemed 31 tickets this year. And 8 of them are long haul, but all the 23 of them actually are very short, well, small redemptions here and there. Without a platform like us, had I do that 23 ticket, probably not as many as 23, because I knew I would need to spend a lot of extra time to find those 23 tickets, right? To spend, but now I increased my engagement for 23 more times. Yeah, that's what we're trying to do. Just helping the airline on the consumer on the engagement on both sides.
Yeah, I think those are all really great points. What has really happened through the pandemic for airlines in the United States is that there's finally this realization what an extraordinary asset these airlines created decades ago. That they're truly like accretive, they're not these wealth transfers, and just so many lights went off. For those of us who'd worked so long to make this conviction happen, it took the pandemic. But because now that everyone's really hitching their wagon to them within these large airlines here in the United States, notably, more currencies being issued. And the thing about long-term value and customer engagement is if you've asked the customer to conform their behavior on the front side and they have met you there, you've got to deliver against that on the back side. And my observation is there's still a lot of conforming that customers are willing to do. So for example, they really want to go to South Beach on a Friday night. Let's just say Dallas, Miami. But you say, I'm going to make it really expensive because I can sell that till forever. So I'm going to offer something cheaper to Fort Lauderdale on a Thursday. And more often than not, the customer will take that up. So I think the airlines have got to be on their game and using their data and their technology, and partners like Points Yeah, who I think are doing a lot to solve a very real problem with dynamic pricing, which is net a consumer benefit. Most of the redemptions in the US are for US travel and in coach, and dynamic pricing is way more than not delivering a price cheaper than it had been with fixed pricing. And so this to me is having partners like a Points Yeah, a part of the solutioning as the airlines have wanted to have a bit of cake and eat it too on dynamic pricing.
Yeah, so
So
providing
they really key on lifetime value.
providing value, instant value, dynamic value to the member as a way to
And the
make them come back.
quicker cycle.
Yeah.
Like speak for another personal example. Like I've been miles game nerd for 25 years, right? Before this dynamic pricing happened, I redeemed 0 times for domestic US flights. 0. Never redeemed. Because I feel that's a waste of a points. Just, right? And we will always wait for the long-haul flights, international business first class. But now everything changed. I redeem anything, everything I can. Yeah.
Tina, what about your business and business model? I guess there's a different definition of customer lifetime value there. It's more about getting them to engage again.
Yeah, so I guess like it's probably easier to explain maybe some of the aspects of the product first, so it makes sense. But we have a mortgage product. So ultimately, when you take out a mortgage or take out a refinance via Mesa with one of our partners, we're giving you 1% back in rewards. So if it's a $500,000 loan, you're getting 500,000 points on both new mortgages and refinances. So I think like within the mortgage space, it's been a really fragmented business. Like you could take out a mortgage, you could get the servicing rights could get sold an hour later. There's like, if you need to refinance, you're probably not going to go back to the same lender. It's just like there is absolutely no loyalty in the space. And that's what, a lot of our partners in the lending and kind of broker space kind of identified was that, we're coming into a massive kind of rate drop in the next couple of weeks. People are going to be refinancing. What's going to drive these customers back to them to refinance with the same lender? So we're, for those partners, we're cultivating loyalty for them while giving value back to the consumer. I think like home ownership is probably the most expensive it's ever been. Inflation's at an all-time high. Interest rates are crazy. It's a $6 trillion market, and most of the spend on home ownership you're not getting anything back for. And then there's all these middlemen, brokers, and kind of all these folks that sit in the middle of the life cycle and literally drain even more money back from the customer. So, our goal is to give that back. When we think about a life cycle perspective, it's, helping the customer identify maybe when it is the right time to refinance, how they could get more back, what the best rate is we can get for them. I think, we haven't really kind of gotten there because our loyalty program is in such early phases. But like, I think if we think about AI, right, like I think where I've seen a lot of success there is predicting kind of attrition, predicting, when a customer is going to churn and leveraging data to then kind of pull them back in. Which, once we get a little bit further down the road, we can start using those engagement tactics. But where we are in our business right now, that's kind of what we're doing.
Thank you. So last topic I wanted to talk about is the implementation. We love to dream about what's possible with technology and AI, but often it can be a struggle to actually get it done. And you touched already a little bit on this, Valeria. Any other final remarks in that regard?
Well, yeah, I think that part I already touched, and I think maybe some examples of things that have been implemented successfully, and I think have been critical for our business, are more related to models, and that's something that doesn't require a lot of extra implementation. And we have, I'm going to mention 3 models that are very successful for us. One is who and where model that we have built is very robust. It can predict where somebody is more likely to fly. So it's a way where how you can target that communication to that specific person, that we might know that if somebody flies to Cancun, maybe their next destination will be most probably, I don't know, the mountain. So there's a very sophisticated model behind that. We also have the next best product one. I mentioned we have a lot of products going on, and it's very difficult. We have limitations with how many emails we can send to our database. So that allows us to do this funnel of which is the one that has more probability to be taken by the customer. And one that we use every single day is the email optimization model that we call the EMO. And that takes into consideration things like the lifetime value, what are we communicating, which specific product, and which is the profile of the customer. We worked in the past sort of pushing the products with whatever we needed to push more. Sales are low in co-brands, so let's push co-brands. But now we have the segmentation first. So this segmentation is more likely to get this, so we send that. I think those are 3 examples of successful use of technology and sort of AI and predictive analysis.
Cool. Just got a signal that we've got a couple of minutes left. Bridget, any war stories, constraints that you've experienced?
I think what I'd like to talk about in terms of constraints on tech is a lot of times it's nothing to do with tech. I think there's 4 elements that I can just recall being in play at any time something was being implemented. That is the underlying data, and y'all can think about the quality of your data, because nothing about this AI matters in the absence of having the data and the measurement. Being agile. And lastly, this is just shows up every time, is internal organizational inertia. And that's a bigger fiend to change and evolution than any tech solution I've seen.
Great. Thanks. Any final remarks? Then we can conclude. Thanks a lot.